something to write with because I don't have anything here. All right, let's take our first station.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob in Northmost Roseville.
Hi, Bob. Give me the suffix to your call again.
Papa Golf, Quebec, PGQ.
All right, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Man, you'll have to excuse me. It's been a long time since I've done net control or even contested, at least 5-6 years, so I'm a little slow with call signs. Next station.
November 6, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville.
Bill, good to hear you. By the way, I think I heard you on the ISS repeater a couple days ago. I think that was you. All right, next check-in.
Good evening, Alpha India 6 Delta Golf, Joel in Florin.
Joel, good to hear you. You're a regular here. All right, next check-in.
This is Killer Pop for Mike Delta Carol in Citrus Heights.
That's a call sign I know well. All right, Carol. Carol, do you want to take the net or you want me to keep?
Please continue. I got my hands full here with the YouTube right now.
All right, getting streaming up and running. All right, folks, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm kind of tired today. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. So we'll take next check-in, please.
November 6, Kilo Echo November.
A6KEN. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening. Name is Ken, just like my call, Kilo Echo November.
I kind of assumed that, but I wanted to make sure. All right, next check-in. So one more time, we have any additional check-ins from Norway 6 Yankee Golf? All right, well, hearing nothing, I think our first check-in was November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Do you have an image ready for us? Oh, and before you go, hold on. Did want to make a quick announcement. If you are interested in seeing how Net Control is receiving your images tonight, you can go to the website www.nmsstv.com, and you will see the images as they come down from my computer. I have it set up where I automatically upload them. You have to refresh the page manually. It's still under construction, and I'm having difficulty forcing page refreshes. So Control F5 on your keyboard will refresh it, and you should be able to see the latest images that come down. So with that, let's take our first image.
Okay, taking a break from analog. This is N6PGQ PD120.
well, that came over real good here. I'm going to send it over to Joel, AI6DG, for comments.
I believe this is in reference to the earthquake we had earlier today, although I didn't feel it or really hear too much about it yet. I haven't reviewed the news about it. But we're looking at a map with a big bright orange dot. Looks like it's down in the Delta area, and it's labeled 4.2. I've got a couple of really bad tears in the image on the top above Malo, Sacramento, and there was a lot of tearings and a wedge of red on the left. So something's really out of sync or mismatch between me and who is transmitting the image. I'm wondering if others had sync issues also. Back to net, AI6DG.
All right, well, I'm looking, if you click the sync tab on MMS TV and you look at the top, it'll tell you if you're off. Like, he's minus 83 parts per million for me. I had calibrated my sound card, and but tonight I did a slow scan net with a slow scan demo with the Girl Scouts, and their computer, their MMST wasn't calibrated, so I calibrated mine to theirs, so mine's way off. But if you look at that, for those of you who don't know how this works, if you look at that, across the bottom it says phase slant, there's a little smiley face. If you hit that smiley face, and then you go over to MEM, it will sync your MMS TV to that station. So if you have a master station on frequency, someone who has calibrated their sound card through WWV, then everybody will be on frequency, which I'm curious if Bill has done that. Sorry, that wasn't Bill. That was PDQ. Have you calibrated your sound card?
No, I have not, and I don't see a place where I can. There's got to be one. I just haven't done it.
Okay. Well, it's under the options menu. If you go over to Setup MMS TV, and then you go under miscellaneous, at the bottom you'll see clock frequency, and next to it says Adjust, ADG. If you click that and you're tuned to WWV, you let it run for 20 minutes, and a line will form down the screen. And you click at the bottom line, click at the top of the line, and then it sets and calibrates the whatever your oscillator frequency is off by on your sound card. So that's how you do it. You really only need one station to do that in the net, and then everybody can sync off of that one station. So with that said, let's go over to let's see, Joel. So it's Bill, N6WOM. Any comments?
That looks like a map of the great earthquake of 2023 in Sacramento region. I didn't feel anything, but yeah, that looks like that event today. And it's just kind of funny we're having the drill tomorrow, so it's good timing. The earthquake's fresh in our memory. I assume the blue dot is Bob in northmost Roseville, which I feel it's not actually part of Roseville. I think you're an unincorporated part of Roseville, Bob. So maybe you should say right outside of Roseville. Anyways, yeah, that was a fun earthquake, and I might participate in the WinLink thing tomorrow if I have time before heading down to stay at Pacificon. N6WLM, back to that.
Bill, thank you very much. And let's see if Carol is done getting the live stream set up, and we'll send it to KP4MD for any comments.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Yeah, I got a very good copy. You can take a look on YouTube if you're watching it there. Just a few pixel pops. scattered throughout, maybe a couple dozen. But very nice picture. And yeah, I mean, some people mentioned on our earlier net that they thought that the alarm that went out for the earthquake earlier today was accidentally or you know, the WinLink exercise that they were supposed to do on the Great Shakeout. Just they had the wrong date or whatever, but no, it was actually a real earthquake. I didn't feel anything myself here, and I guess with the that intensity, it's not very common for people to feel anything. But it came through very well, and let's see, we have Jen also. She's listening and watching while having her dinner because she was the one who set up the Girl Scouts here tonight, and they were packing up everything. So that's why she gets home a little bit later than the rest of us. So back to you, N6YG's KP for MD.
Did an amazing job. You guys are doing an amazing job with the Girl Scouts. I'm very impressed. All right, with that, I think it goes over to Bill, if he's got a picture ready, N6WLM. Was that you I heard the other day, may have been a couple days ago on ISS?
Yeah, most likely that was probably me. I heard another station from Roseville try to break in during one pass, but I didn't get the call sign, and I didn't think it was you, so maybe you're using a different caller just listening. But there was another Roseville station a few days ago that I kind of heard. But yeah, I've been doing the ISS recently. I think Bob still needs to describe his photo, N6WLM.
No, it wasn't me. I just started today. I just made my first call in probably 8 years to the ISS. So, all right, and let's see, who sent this picture out? This was PDQ, so it goes to you, right? WLM, N6WLM.
Yep, it was me, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec, and this is the famous Ialton earthquake that we had. And I thought, like others, that the phone company had gotten the disaster wrong, since it's supposed to be tomorrow, and it wasn't. It was actually an earthquake. So people were complaining that the automated system caught an earthquake that was too light in the Richter scale and sent out messages. But anyway, we know that the automated system works. Let me break this for a second. Just remember the Great Shakeout is tomorrow at 10:19. I don't know whether your phones are going to go off for that or not. They're encouraging WinLink members to send the files off to the U.S. Geological Society, and you can find the information and the form template on WinLink in the California forms. N6PGQ.
All right, N6PGQ, I apologize for that. I was supposed to send it back to you to give us some info on the image. So I'm a little rusty. All right, so now it goes over to Bill, N6WLM. Do you have a picture for us?
Roger that. Let me get a tone real quick. 1 second.
Good solid tone.
Awesome, thank you. This is N6WLM, and this will be PD 120.
All right, well that came over here beautifully. I'm going to send it up to PGQ for comments.
Well, it looks like we have some through-hole standard parts on the left on a circuit board, and it looks like we've got some surface mount parts in the upper right on a circuit board, and an integrated circuit down in the bottom. And so I don't know if someone is trying to tell us that you can do more with less or whatever, but we'll find out. The quality's good. You could hear the pixel pops. There are quite a few, but not real noticeable. And picture came through nicely, and the registration's good and everything like that. N6PGQ.
All right, thank you for that. And AI6DG, Joel, what do you think? What do you see?
Okay, so we've got 3 photos, the entire left half, and then the right split into top and bottom. It looks like we've got on the left and the upper right 2 pictures of the same circuit board. On the upper right, we're looking at either the entire board or the majority of the board, whereas the left half is centered in on just a portion of the board, maybe the upper right of the board, and it's inside an orange plastic wrap envelope, presumably anti-static, and there's a set of tweezers diagonally laid across into the center, where we've maybe got a hole cut into the plastic wrap, layering bare just a portion of the board, and it looks like it's bare pads, so maybe we're about to mount a component. And that maybe is the component on the lower right, because I see in a plastic bag a cut portion of a surface mount device strip and a single component of that strip inside a plastic container. You know what the strips components come in when they're on a strip. And it's way too small. I can't tell what the component is, whether it's a chip or a resistor cap or whatever. But presumably someone's got a board and a component that they're about to mount on to that board. And back to Net, AI6DG.
Very good, Joel. I wonder, Carol, KB4MD, you have any comments?
Yeah, this is Kilopop for Mike Delta. I agree. It looks like the left half of the picture is a close-up of the board that you see in the upper right-hand corner. It's a close-up of the upper right-hand corner of that board, and there's a plastic covering, except that it's exposed. That the area there with the 1, 2, 3, 4 pads, and I believe the reason you put that plastic over there is that so when you're going to solder something and you're directing hot air, you're not going to heat up and desolder any of the adjacent components, which are all look like surface mount, and it's probably that component that's in the lower right hand corner in that bag, which is the one that you're going to solder right into that spot on that board. That's what I'm guessing. So back to Net. This is KP for MD.
All righty, thank you for that, Carol. And how about Ken? I think I missed you last time around. I think I spaced it and went and skipped right over you. So we'll send it over to you. N6KEN from N6YG.
Yeah, copy you loud and clear. I believe Ken had no modulation.
Yeah, I went over to the reverse. It took me a minute to find the button on this radio. I'm back on the FT847. I haven't used this in probably 8-9 years, so I'm a little lost with it. Muscle memory is gone. Ken, you want to try that again? I don't think you had any modulation. N6KEN.
Okay, how about now?
Much better.
Okay, yeah, this is why I don't make the net too often, is because, I don't know, my USB settings keep getting wonky, so I just turned off the preset, so I'll have to switch it back on when I go back to transmitting for SSTV. Anyway, yeah, thank you for including me. The first one, what I was saying is I did not feel the earthquake either. I thought it was a mistake, knowing that the 19th is tomorrow, and then this one looks like maybe an HT board, and somebody's doing like a Mars mod or maybe a repair, so looking forward to the answer on that one. Back to that N6KEN.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make a comment here too. It's obvious that we're looking at the top right of this board. You can see the ground plane separate from the two holes in the middle, the mounting holes in the middle. It might be a voltage regulator. Looking like he's going to replace it. And I believe that's Captain. Like Captain Tape, KPTON or something like that. High temperature plastic. I have a bunch of that around here I use. Very similar. Cover up a board when you're going to use your hot air rework. The whole trick to that is the paste and the flux that you use is like critical. So we're going to go ahead and send this back to Bill. N6WLM, you want to give us a little background on it?
Yeah, you guys did great. This is the RXTX board for a handheld receiver, specifically the Kenwood TH Delta 72, which is a full duplex, very hard to get older radio. I got it used, and when I bought it, it only had 1 watt of output max when it should do 5. And I traced it down to this transistor, which is the driver right before the final amplifier. And I decided I'm going to replace it. So the left-hand photo is me wrapping the board in Kaplan tape to be able to do a hot air rework to pull the part off. And then you see there's collateral damage though. There's a capacitor that actually fell off. So that little tiny capacitor that I'm pointing to with my tweezers is not attached to anything. That got blown off, and I'm lucky I didn't lose it. And then I continued to suffer for about an hour to try to get it back on without blowing it away. Just touching it made it fly across the board. So I was very happy to get that reattached, and then I used my soldering iron to attach the transistor back. And once it was all said and done, I was able to get 5 watts out again. So it was a very difficult repair, very very concerning at times, but I was able to do it. And I actually I put the whole thing on YouTube. So if you just search my call sign N6WLM, you can watch me suffer in real time putting this transistor on in a 3-part series, and eventually being successful and getting this radio back on there. So that was fun, and yeah, it's nice to repair your own stuff. N6WLM, back to net.
Good job. That's a good radio. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one. I like those little HT, Kenwood HTs. That's an APRS HT, right?
Yeah, Roger that. Does APRS full duplex, works great for satellites. That's why I picked it up, and I was pretty disappointed when it was only 1 watt output. So I'm glad this was able to fix it. But you can see how small the transistor is in my palm. The bottom right-hand photo, that's my palm there. And the capacitor that fell off was even smaller than that. So I wouldn't recommend this fix. It's not for the faint of heart. But anyways, I'm glad it's over and it's fixed. N6WLM.
Do you have a microscope that you use when you do this?
No, I used my bare eyes, and at points I had to stop and walk away because my eyes started hurting. I felt like with the microscope and the tweezers, I was already kind of losing it because it was so fragile. Like static would make that capacitor move. So I did use my bare eyes. Maybe I suffered needlessly.
Well, good job. I'm going to take a break and see if we have any additional traditional check-ins for the N6NA Wednesday evening slow scan net. This is Norway 6 Yankee Germany N6YG, your net control host.
AE6JG, James.
All right, AE6JG, thank you. For checking in. And let's see, anybody else? All right, with that, we'll go back up to the top of the list, and I believe it goes to Joel, AI6DG. Joel, do you have a picture for us tonight?
Was there tone?
No.
Just carrier, no tone?
Yeah, just a carrier, no tone. Unless someone else is hearing it, I'm not.
No tone.
Now you got tone. Very strong tone.
PD-120.
Hey, Joel, that actually came over here very good. Only a few pixel pops. Other than that, that's one of the better pictures I've seen, so it's looking good. And let me pull up my list here again because I forgot where we were. That was Joel, so we're going to go ahead and send it down to Carol, KP4MD, for comments.
Okay, yeah, I just had to find the the button to activate my audio repeater to get my voice out of the computer headset microphone into my signal link, which is what I use here, since I'm piping audio both to my radio and to YouTube. AI6DG, and I'm seeing what looks like a what is that? A canal or something? That's got some water. Yeah, you were talking about last. I don't know if this is Las Vegas, but I know that you were talking about Las Vegas had some kind of weird drainage system with canals, and it looks like some locks there that I'm seeing to the right side. I don't know if this is another type of canal, but maybe it's something that has to do with the Las Vegas draining system. So this is my guess. Otherwise, it looks like these are locks for some other kind of canal. And I see a number 35, which is maybe a speed limit. Who knows? Back to net. This is KP for MT.
All right, Carol, thank you for those comments. And now we'll go to N6KEN.
Yeah, this is N6KEN. Sorry, I've got several conversations going on here, but yeah, I did not. I'll make it brief. I did not get any of that last transmission. It's just a bunch of different pixels.
Okay. Did you heard it though, right?
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, it's the Windows audio subsystem. You're running Windows?
Roger.
Yeah, I fight with it all the time. If you have more than one sound card on your computer, then it's just going to be an issue. All right. Let's see. AE6JG. Any comments?
Yeah, it came through, but it's very pixely, very noisy picture. But I look forward to hearing what it is. It looks like a lock system of some kind. Anyway, thanks, George. Back to you. AE6JG.
It came over here relatively well. There's some pixel pops, but it's got the normal PD120 kind of blur to it. So, like I said, if you go over to MMSSTV.com, and that's my new website, I set it up to look like MMSSTV. That the page is just being constructed. It's going to be dedicated to the author of MMSTV for writing the software and providing it free to us. So it's going to have links for all the software and so on, and a live page where you can see the images that I've received here. So it's like a webcam page. Let's see. Who does it go to next? We'll go back up to the top of the list. How about November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec?
Well, I think everybody's covered it pretty well. I don't recognize any of the location. It looks like the locks there are probably not big enough for, a large set of locks like you would have in Central America or in the Far East. Sacramento locks are, I think, even a little bigger than that. But it looks like there's water pouring in at the front of the gates and some water just sitting around on the left side. And I don't know. We'll be interested to find out what AI6DG has to tell us in 6PGQ.
It's a very interesting picture that the building in the back, with what appears to be a big smokestack coming out of the top, a chimney coming out of the top, but that's either a huge building or these are really small locks. I'm wondering if this is in Europe. I wonder if this is like in England or something like that for the canal boats that they have out there. At first I thought that they had a failure on one side, that there might have been two locks here and that they had a failure on one side, but on the side, on the left-hand side, if you look all the way back, there's a control building there that would be blocking that lane, so that's obviously not a lock. A bypass maybe. There's not enough water in there for anything to go through. So yeah, it's going to be real interesting to find out. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm looking at ice, it's like frozen. So Joel, why don't you give us a little background on this picture?
This is in New York. This is a portion of the Erie Canal. I'm in a town called Lockport, and guess what? Guess why it's called Lockport? Because it's got locks on it in it. The Erie Canal goes through the middle of the town, and it's got these locks. And one thing that's probably confusing you is there's no water in it in this picture, or very little water. So I guess the Erie Canal no longer has any commercial traffic on it. It's strictly recreational traffic. And in winter, they don't even bother to have water flowing through it, so it drains. And this was taken in winter because, yes, you see some snow and ice on the low right in front of those gate doors, and it wouldn't surprise me that the shiny or white stuff on the left side is also snow and ice. And so small locks, but then very old locks. So the ships were a lot smaller back then. So I spent 6 months through one winter in Niagara Falls, New York, 1 year, and occasionally got a weekend off where I could go playing tourist. And this is one of those weekends where I drove down the Niagara River to, is it Lake Ontario, I think it is? You can see Toronto across the river and the big tower they've got there. They've got a British fort from the old Revolutionary War days on the far side, and Fort Niagara on the American side, which is actually historical because of the War of 1812, Revolutionary War, all that stuff. There was actually quite a bit going on in the area. And then I visited that area, had a good time, drove back with a detour through Lockport, and enjoyed viewing all these locks and so forth. And it was cold. If there was ice, that's why it's cold. Back to net, the I-6TG.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. Yeah, that's a good picture. And you can tell it was old. That was one of the comments I was going to say. Definitely very old. So with that, I believe it now goes over to Carol, KP4MD. Do you have a picture set up for us?
Yes, this is going to be PD120.
right, Carol, thank you very much for that. That came over real well. And I'm not going to give it away, but I will send it to, I'll go back up to the top of the list, N6 PGQ. Any comments?
Well, every year at PacificCon, there's a booth in the front hall advertising Parachute Mobile. And a couple of hams go up in an airplane and jump out and make contacts as they come down. Quality of this picture is really good. Very few pixel pops, no IDs. Says it's going to be October 21st, 2023. Let's see what everybody else has to say.
All right, thank you for that. Bill, N6WLM, your turn.
Yeah, the photo came out really well. A few pixel pops, but definitely can make it out. Yeah, I'm familiar with this Parachute Mobile. They were at PacificCon last year, and I was aware of them before PacificCon. They like to jump out of a plane and make contacts. I know last year they did HF, so that's pretty impressive. They're on 20 meters while floating down to Earth. I don't think they're going to be on HF this year, so still impressive. But to have him drop down a wire and start making HF contacts, that's really impressive. But either way, a good accomplishment. I hope to make contact with them when they're diving this year at PacificCon. N6WLM, back to net.
Yeah, that would be fun to put in your logbook. All right, I guess we're going to jump down to AE6JG. I don't remember if I gave you a chance yet, so I'll let you make a few comments.
Thanks, George. No, I don't have anything to add on this, other than to say it's pretty cool. I remember watching a live video stream, was that a year or two ago, when they were doing this, so it's really cool. Back to you, AE6JG.
All righty, thank you for that, and I guess we'll go back up to Carol and see if she has any final words on the picture.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much for the good report. By the way, I have bumped up my power. I usually transmit only on the lowest power on my Yaesu rig here, 5 watts. I have it up to 10 watts because people were saying I was getting a lot of pixel pops. So this does help a little bit to get clearer pictures. Yeah, they're not going to do HF this year. They're going to be strictly on 2 meters, 147.57. And I've worked them. I've listened to them in the past a few times. One time I actually tried to talk with them, and you can hear them really strong here in the Sacramento area when they're coming down. And as they get really close to the ground, of course, you lose contact with them. They go below your horizon. But 147.57 FM simplex, and if you QSL them, they'll send you a QSL card, which is very, very attractive. So that's yep, Parachute Mobile is going to be with their booth over there at PacificCon. So and they do take off from an airport down there in the Bay Area. So back to Net Control. This is KP for MD.
And 6KEN.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I got skipped again. No worries. This is N6KEN. Yeah, I have a QSL card from that group from 2019 and 2021. I worked them from PacificCon. Not sure if I'm going to go down or not this weekend. I did see Alex Loop is going to be one of the vendors, and I've been interested in looking into a loop antenna. So I may go down there just for one day, maybe Saturday. Back to N6KEN.
Hey Ken, thank you for the comments. And in fact, I do believe it's your turn next. And I don't think I have any other comments on this picture myself. I'd love to go down to PacificCon, but there's just no way I can drive that. And I'm probably fooling myself. I probably need a scooter or a wheelchair, so I don't think I'm gonna going to subject myself to that. Anyhow, N6KEN, Ken, go ahead. Do you have a picture lined up for us?
Yeah, N6KEN, I do have a picture, and yeah, you shouldn't keep that from keeping you down there if you've got a transportation down there. The grounds, it's the Marriott, it's very accessible, scooter and wheelchair accessible. In fact, I've seen a few hams, handy hams there, so don't keep that from keeping you from going and at least experiencing it once. It's pretty much the same thing every year, but still fun to be around like-minded individuals. And here is my image, PD90. Actually, hold on one second. Let me switch over to SSTV mode. 1 second.
The audio is very low. Picture came over real well here. Just a few pixel pops. One of the better pictures of the night, nice and clear. You had real strong audio. When you first keyed up, there was nothing. It was like it was in the background. It was being picked up by a microphone or something. But when you switched over, it made all the difference in the world. Real strong. All right, let's go up to the top of the list with N6 PGQ.
Well, somebody has a sense of humor. We have a bottle of instant sunspot, and I guess it helps to improve your propagation if you use it. I don't know whether you spray it on the antenna or around in the air. Then there's a picture on the right side with a couple of kangaroos and some kind of a flower. I don't know. My detail in my picture is not real good. There's a rig behind the instant sunspot. Looks like a paddle on the right-hand side in the bottom, and the quality is really good. A few pixel pops, of course, because the background's kind of dark, and you can hear them on the air. But I'm going to be interested to know about the rest of the stuff and where he got the bottle of instant sunspot N6 PGQ.
All right, thank you for that. N6WLM, Bill.
Yeah, a fairly good copy here. There's a good amount of pixel pops, but I can still see the image very well. Came over pretty clear. Yeah, I like the meme. I would like to have a bottle of this to increase the sunspots as well. Just on the sun, not on me. I can't identify the radio that's behind the bottle, though, so I'm wondering if that's yours, Ken, or if you found this photo elsewhere. And I don't know if there's three vertical things on the right-hand side of the photo, and I can't figure out what those are either. Maybe vape pens? I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm interested to hear more. N6WLM, back to that.
I was wondering about that too. I see the Vibraplex. I think that's what that is. All right. Let's see. It goes to. I'm just giving everyone a chance. Normally, I think the net kind of bounces around, and I apologize if I've missed you in the last few go-arounds. But I finally think I came up with a system so I can keep track of who I've sent it to, other than trying to rely on my faulty memory. So. I'm going to send it to Carol, KP4MD, for any comments.
Yeah, I have a really good picture here. Hardly any pixel pops whatsoever. And it's a nice gag labeled squirt bottle there. It says instant sunspots. I don't have really much else to say about it. Over.
All right, Carol, thank you. Let's see. We'll go down to N6KEN. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you're the one who sent the picture. So we'll go down to A6JG and see if he has any comments.
Thanks, George. This is James, AE6JG. Ken, I got random spots throughout, but it looks pretty good. I don't know why everybody's saying this is a joke. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's very funny. I can't read. I see the word treatment. Ken, what's the word to the left of treatment in the middle of the label? Back to George, AE6JG.
All right, AE6JG, N6YG. And I should probably break and say this is N6YG, net control host for the River City Arc's slow scan TV net here on Wednesday nights. Looking for any additional check-ins, late check-ins who would like to join us. All right, hearing nothing. Let's see. I missed Joel, so we'll let Joel pick it up here. See if he's got any comments.
Antenna treatment, that's what's to the left of treatment. And it looks like a travel poster in the upper right with the Opera House, the Sydney Bridge, a couple of kangaroos. And it looks also like we've got an aspect ratio because it's squashed. It's probably a 16:9 photo put into 4:3 format. And yeah, it does look like a Vibraplex or some sort of bug, mechanical mechanism. Lots of chrome, and no idea what the three things on the right are. Yeah, handy talkies, phones, pins, flashlights, and what's the base that they're either plugged into or sitting on top of or whatever. Yeah, spray it on your antenna and instant sunspots. All of a sudden you get those stations you couldn't before. Back to net, AI6TG.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah, pipes maybe, I don't know. They don't look like pipes. But that stand reminds me of a pipe stand from back when smoking a pipe was something people did that was more common than it is today. All right, we're going to go back to Ken, see if he can give us some information, some background on this picture. N6KEN, N6YG.
Yeah, N6YG in the group, N6KEN. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that it came through. Yeah, and I apologize. I haven't been part of the group. I think I looked at my history here, and I think the last net I actually successfully made was back in April. So my computer's USB ports decided to not work, and then I got it working, but they were switched. So my 9700 was switched with my 7300 and vice versa. And now for some reason when I put my 9700 in the SSTV mode, then when I key up it doesn't, from the mic it's not working, so I have to unload that. So I'll figure it out. But yeah, Instant Sunspot, this is a new product you might find at your local ham store. Hi. It says here, work the rare ones, score big in the contest, and I'm not sure what the rest is because I blocked it with my graphic there. But yeah, this isn't mine. Joel is correct. Can't get anything past him. It is skewed because I shrunk it in SSTV, and those are pins in what looks to be like a wooden little holder that somebody handmade and put some holes in. Maybe it was a pipe holder at one time. And that is a bug, although it is not a Vibraplex. I have a Vibraplex bug, and I never use it. So anyway, back to net N6KN.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. So, great picture. Yeah, I usually letterbox these. You'll see me send a lot of letterboxed images. And so, next person on the list, AE6JG. James, your turn.
All right, this will be PD 120.
All right, let's see. Who hasn't gone first yet? I don't remember. Go with N6WLM, Bill. What are your comments?
Yeah, not many pixel pops at all, probably the least amount all night, but my copy has a very bad slant. Starting maybe a tenth down from the top of the image, it started slanting very aggressively, and my MMS SSTV didn't correct for it. But other than that, it came over actually really well, pretty clear photo. Looks like someone rode their bicycle to the pumpkin patch. Maybe that's what you're doing this weekend. Yeah, it looks like there's a large amount of pumpkins in the front here, with a wooden fence behind that, just a real basic one, with a bicycle leaning, I think, against the fence. So I don't know if maybe James went to the pumpkin patch this last weekend. I did. I went to Fog Willow personally with the little one, so that was fun. So I'm interested to hear more. N6WLM, back to net.
All right, AE6JG, what are your comments?
I'm surprised Bill didn't really recognize what this is. This is a patch of capacitors for you, Bill. Yeah, this is we were camping last weekend in a place called Costa Noa, which is about 25 miles south of Half Moon Bay, and they were having their annual pumpkin festival. And so you saw scenes like this all along Highway 1, so we're right by the ocean. And I just thought it was appropriate for the time of year. I don't know what's causing that slant. Following Carol's lead, I lowered my power probably down to 20 watts. I don't know if that would be a reason for the slant. George, do you know?
Yeah, you need to, your clock is so far off that MMS TV on our end, I have the same thing. I have a slant about halfway through. It started out almost 170 parts per million off. So what it is you realize that your sound card is kind of like your transmitter in a way. It needs a reference oscillator. And so the sound cards have reference oscillators on them. Better sound cards are more accurate. They have more stable reference oscillators, just like better radios have high stability crystal oscillators. So better sound cards have better oscillators. And so they don't drift as much. The sound card I'm using today is just a cheap $2 sound card off of eBay that I was testing. It uses the C-Media 108 chip. I think it's 108. One of the biggest pieces of garbage ever made. You can buy them for like $1.99 on eBay. And what's funny is that ICOM and several radio manufacturers that put audio chip stacks in their radios use the C-Media chip, which kind of boggles my mind. You'd think they would have spent a few dollars more and put a Texas Instrument DAC in there or something better. But, you know, it can be a good sound card. It can be a good audio chip. It just depends on the supporting hardware that they're using. So what you need to do is you need to calibrate it. And I'll walk you through that. I've gone through it once today. I'm going to send an image. And when I send an image, as the image is coming down, click on the sync tab. Look across the bottom. You'll see a smiley face. After about half the image is there, or even wait till the whole image is there on the sync tab, you won't be able to see it. It'll just have a white line on one side. Click that smiley face, and then go over and you'll see a MEM button, MEM. Click that, and that will send that calibration over to the setup on MMS TV, and you'll be calibrated, at least to my computer, which is probably fairly accurate right now. So if that helps, I'm going to send a picture because we're already at 8 after 10, so I guess the net's running a little long. So N6YG, I think I've got one queued up. Here we go. I'm going to send this one in MR90 just to be different modes. This is one of the modes, MR90. I'll explain it after I send the picture. JG James, did you click that sync tab?
I did. I saw the smiley face. I hit that, and then I hit MEM.
Okay. Yeah, did you look across the top? It would have told you how many parts per million you were off. When you click that across the top, it'll tell you like 170 hertz, 1 part per million, or something like that. So that should have corrected that problem. So maybe if we have time just before we close the net, we'll let you send another picture and see how it comes out. Let's see, who hasn't gone first? I don't remember. We'll go with Ken, N6KEN, and see if you have any comments on this picture.
Yeah, N6YG in a group, N6KEN. Yep, got this one from, let me see if I can remember his call sign. James, AE6JG. I don't know why, ever since you changed, I was so used to your old call sign, now this one perplexes me. But anyway, I got the picture. Looks like maybe some heated up tubes. Either that or candles inside glasses, but my guess is they're big old transmitter tubes. Back to net, N6KEN.
All right, how about N6WLM, Bill?
Yeah, it came through beautifully. Very few pixel pops, very clear photo of some really red-hot, glowing amplifier tubes. It looks like those things look beefy. I'd be scared to run that. It looks like maybe you get like 5 kilowatts out of that. So it's probably some kind of impressive amplifier, if I had to guess. But man, is it red hot. So that's pretty cool. I'm interested to hear more about it. N6WLM, back to net.
All right, let's see if anybody can recognize these tubes. N6PGQ.
Well, I can't make a comment. I was supposed to push the enlarge button, and I pushed the X, and everything went away, and the picture went away, and my memory's not that good. There's a couple of tubes, and you could read the tube manufacturer and part number on the tube, but I can't remember what it was. N6PGQ.
Oh, click your history tab, see if it's there.
It isn't.
All right, and how about Carol, KP4MD?
Yeah, it takes me forever to find my button to turn on the audio repeater. 3 400Zs, a pair of them in chimneys, and they've got heat sinks on the plate caps. And those tubes are operating, I think, a maximum plate dissipation, the way those plates are so looking red hot. But yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Back over to you, KP friend.
And we'll send it over to Joel, I guess. We'll AI6DG. We're already running along.
I was going to guess 811s, in which case this isn't a lot of power, but I can read SX-416 as the part number of the chimney on the tube on the right, for the chimney on the right. So you've got the tubes stuck into a socket, ventilated socket, and the glass chimneys are keeping the air next to the tube, and the underneath the tube is pressurized with air coming from underneath through the chimney and out the top. Yes, heat sink on there's a pin on the top of the tube that's got a heat sink on it. So a lot of heat dissipated through that. But these tubes look like they're very viciously being generating heat. So yeah, is this their standby mode, or are you someone actively transmitting on it, and how much power and what? Yeah, what is the tube? But pretty wicked looking. I wouldn't mind a full resolution version of this photo. Back to net AI6DG.
All right, well, excuse me. Carol got it. She um, nailed it. Those are 3500Zs, a pair of them. They're not really running that hot. If you were there looking at it, it wouldn't look like this. This was taken with a modified camera that with the IR filter removed. So it also is sensitive to IR, so it gives the false impression that they're running really hot. It creates an interesting picture. So it's very good. Yeah, the chimneys, everything came out looking beautiful in this picture. So I'm glad that it came over well. Let's see, we're getting close to the end of the net. I want to see if James may have something left to try to send, since the other picture was kind of skewed pretty bad. If you want to try it again or not.
I'd be happy to, but we could do that. I think because it's late, you could close the net, and then I could just send something to you.
All right, we can do that. This is pull up the. I gotta find this. I gotta find the script again. I lost the. I lost the script. Here it is. So it's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm a bit rusty at running net control. So let's see. This is George N6YG, net control host for the River City Arcs Wednesday night slow scan net. We'd like to thank all those who participated in tonight's SSTV net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 10:17 p.m. That's local time. This is George, N6YG, wishing all of you a good evening.
73 N6KEN, thanks for running the net.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Ken. Good to hear you. George, thanks for running the net tonight. Appreciate it.
No, not a problem. Thanks for putting up with me stumbling through it. Oh my God, I used to do nets all the time. I remember, when I was real active in clubs, coming home from work and, whoever was scheduled for net control not showing up to a net. And so I'd pull over in a parking lot and run the net from my car. So yeah, that was a long time ago, back when my memory was a little bit better. So with that, let's see, any other comments? All right, we'll send it, let's see if you want to go ahead and try sending another picture and see if we resolve that issue. The thing is, I don't know if my clock is on frequency, but I wanted you to see how you can calibrate it. And then, like I said, if your radio, one of the problems with this 2-meter slow scan net is a lot of people aren't using radios that'll go on HF, because you need a shack in the box 2-meter radio that does, all the way up to 160. So, or at least up to 10 megahertz. So normally you would go to WWV and listen to it for 20 minutes to calibrate it. But the neat thing about the author of MMSTV is he really did a good job on this software. He really thought of a lot of things, and one of them is you only need one master station. So if one person in the group calibrates their sound card, and they have a decent sound card, then they can become a master station, and everybody can calibrate off him. So, all right, James, let's see what you have.
All right, here we go, PD 120.
pictures of the night. They came out looking real good. If you go over to my website, you'll see what it looks like. Like, what's interesting is I heard the pixel pops. I can hear the repeater kind of like popping, but I don't see any, maybe a couple in the image. But it's a good image for that because it kind of, if they're in there, it hides them. But it came over very clear. You should go take a look at it. It's still showing you, by the way, it's still showing that you're off minus 92 parts per million, so that would be, I think, plus on your end. But I wouldn't mess with it right now because I don't know that this sound card is calibrated. I'm using a completely different system tonight than I normally do. I'm back on my old FT847, which I absolutely love that radio. This is the radio that the Girl Scouts are going to use as the primary radio for their ISS contact. So I wanted to start using it again and get my muscle memory back, so I can use it without having to think. So I created that website. I registered the domain, which I was surprised it was available, and I took a screenshot of MMSSTV and made that the background, and then I used some CSS script to overlay images, the received images, over the MMSTV. So you look down where your pictures would normally be. That's the history pictures. And then the main picture, it would be the latest picture I received. And I even made an animated GIF of the spectrum scope and overlaid an animated GIF where the spectrum would be in MMSTV, so it'll look like MMSTV is running.
It's very impressive. I'm looking at it. Yeah, that did come through well. The shape of the pumpkins is distorted because this was a vertical shot that became horizontal when I cut it and pasted it into MMSTV, but it looks pretty clear on yours and also on the YouTube feed, so thanks. Again, thanks for running the net. And again, you don't think my power has anything to do with it? Would more power have changed anything?
Absolutely, yeah. The power is helping you overcome the pixel pops and the noise. Improves the signal-to-noise ratio into the repeater. That's what I'm doing. I'm running a little bit more. I'm only running 20 watts right now because I'm running the FT847, and the FT847 is more of a full-duty cycle radio than the ICOM 7000. I got real concerned running the ICOM 7000 at 20 and 30 watts through these long transmissions because I can watch the sky temperature gauge. I can watch the temperature gauge climb. So on this radio, I'm not worried. I'd run this radio at a full. This will actually do a full 50 watts out on 70 centimeters. So I'm only running about half, about 20, 25 watts.
Copy. That's what I'm doing too. Well, George, thanks very much. N6YG AE6JG. Thanks for stepping in, and you know this so well. I always learn a lot from you, and I really appreciate it. And I bet others do too.
Trials and tribulations. I spent many years with a group on single sideband on 144. I think it was 215. Oh, a guy by the name of Dennis. I forgot his call sign, and then KE6R. RK. I forgot his call sign. It's been so long. So my memory is really screwed up. All the medication and stuff is recovering from that. So yeah, we just would spend hours just sending pictures back. We played with the digital slow scan, and then Carol and I did it. I think we started this about 2014, 2015. So, and what I did is I actually set up two laptops in my lab, and I would transmit on one into a dummy load, and I had a radio set up on the other one, and I would receive, and I was playing around with all the settings, learning how the different settings do different things, and you learn interesting things like these MR modes, MR90. Or the MR90 will produce a better picture than PD120 will, and it's a shorter mode. But it's better on the repeater somehow doesn't the bandwidth or whatever the filtering is in the repeater messes with MR90 a little bit, or any of the MR MP modes. They don't like going through repeaters. But if you send them through, because on simplex, they come out like looking like a photograph. They're amazing. They come out so good that you can see the pixels in the images. So if you ever get a chance to play around with simplex slow scan, give those a try. N6YG. And by the way, I don't mind taking that. It was fun.
Good. Yeah, you did a great job, and we appreciate it. All right, I'm going to bed, George. Thanks very much, and good night to anybody else who's listening. This is AE6JG. I'm going to bed. Bye.
Yeah, good night, James, and N6YG, N6KEN. Before you go, George, can I get that website from you?
Yeah, my website, it's MMSSTV.com. Same thing as the software. It's still in its early stages, so it's just the pictures and the basic setup. So it's going to get a little bit more, a little bit more to it later on. But I wanted to get something up as quick as I could for the net this week.
Yeah, I apologize. After I let go of the push-to-talk, I switched frequencies for some reason. Did you give the website? I didn't catch it.
That's okay. It's the same as the program that we use. It's MMSSTV.com. And it's just like I said, it's just in its infancy. I'm just now getting it set up, but it was quite a bit of work because it's been a long time since I worked with CSS and JavaScript.
Ah, very good. Yep, just pulled it up and see my image there. Ah, very cool. Appreciate you putting that together and sharing that with us. Have a good evening. 73N6KN.
All right, Ken, you have a good evening. And I wonder if Carol's still here or if she's taken off for the night. KP4MD N6YG.
Yeah, KP4MD here. What's up?
All right, Carol. Yeah, I just wanted to say good night. And good job on that on the YouTube stream. It's got to take quite a bit of bandwidth.
Yeah, we do our best. Thank you very much. And I'm actually running through the Wi-Fi, so it's somehow most of the time it does pretty well. Thanks again for doing net control. You did an excellent job, and thank you for helping with the Girl Scouts earlier tonight. Escapee friend.
Oh yeah, not a problem. You guys are doing an amazing job with them, so I'm impressed. I'm not. It's been a long time since I've done anything that involved, working with, younger kids, especially in a teaching fashion. So, there was a time many moons ago where I ran some summer school type classes. For various things. I'm sorry, I'm tired, but yeah, it's been a long time. I'm not sure how I would do in that situation. I'd probably freeze up. I'd have to, if I was going to be in that situation where I was teaching a class like that, like you guys are, you ladies are, I would have to get an itinerary and a script, and it would have to be planned out very detailed. There's no way I'd be able to wing it.
Okay, well, you did absolutely fine on the air. There was they received it very, very well, and first a little bit of microphone fright, but just so we all go through that. So that was very helpful. So I'm going to go also because I just returned from the East Coast last night, and I've still got a little bit of jet lag. So for me, it feels like it's past 1 a.m. over.
Yeah, I bet. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could have worked you when you were at W1AW. I had totally forgotten all about it, and I was kicking myself. It would have been a good contact. So, all right, Carol, we'll talk to you later. With that, I'll say 7-3 KP4MD from Norway 6 Yankee Germany.
Roger, KP for MD QRT Net.
Don't feel bad, George. I tried working Carol on 15 meters, even with amp